YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back on Total War, or yeah, I was about to say Total War Rome 2, Total War Attila. Man, that is going to be a habit that dies hard here. I decided to break out the Sassanids again, and let me kind of explain this situation to you, because this is a unique battle. It's not going to be representative of, well, maybe it will be typical. What I'm saying is typical. These aren't power builds that you're going to see in these battles, not by any means. I played against an opponent. I wanted to be the Ostrogoths. He also picked the Ostrogoths. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe he's looking for a civil war. But then when I get into the battle, he has like an elite Ostrogothic pike army with a bunch of crossbows. And basically you can tell his idea is just to hold you back while he unloads crossbows on you, hopefully killing your army. It's not a bad tactic that he had going, but I don't see it being useful in a competitive standpoint, but not a bad tactic for potentially winning some battles in quick battle. And he dropped near the end of the game. I think it was a legitimate drop because there was some lag. And then I got back into matchmaking, and I ran into him again, and he picked the Ostrogoths again. And I was like, surely he's not going to go for the same old pike and crossbow tactic. But I was like, you know what? I think he is. So I picked what I thought would be a good counter build with the Sassanids. So I bring some Grifpanvar cataphracts, which are kind of a mid-tier cataphract with very nice stats for their price. Some Dalamite warriors just to make up a token infantry force, mounted Persian warriors to deal with skirmishers, and potentially enemy cav. You know, my Grifpanvar combined with the mounted Persian warriors ought to do pretty well with each other supporting. And then I brought a ton of archers. I have 3 Royal Persian bows and then 1 Royal Persian archers. No, 4 of them actually, and then I have 1 Persian bow. Now the Royal Persian archers come with a horrendously large amount of ammunition. It's 26 ammo. You pay a lot for these guys though, and so they're going to have to pay off. And in a case where someone brings a lot of crossbows, they will pay off. And sure enough, my opponent has brought a lot of crossbows, just as I expected him to. So he's got a main line of elite Ostrogothic pikes. There are 7 of them. He's got in the back one Germanic levy, or 2 Germanic levy, no, 3 Germanic levies, 2 spearmasters. So basically he's dropped the cavalry altogether here, which I think was a huge mistake, and you'll see why later on. But he's also got a Gothic general here, which is a very capable melee cav. So yeah, some generals units don't suck, and this one is pretty decent. Not the best in the game, I don't think, but pretty decent. So 4 Germanic crossbows have the potential to do a lot of wrecking if I run out of cavalry. And again, the idea is, hey, look at me, you can't charge my crossbows because I have pikes. That's his idea. And then I'm going to protect my flanks with spears. Notice, though, that he has his spears, and again, I'm always borrowing from Maximus. I guess just because his wording and stuff just appeals to me in the funny. I guess it plays to my sense of humor. He calls these spaghetti lines. So I'm going to be accused of being a Maximus fanboy again, but I guess I kind of am. I think his videos are very informational and good if you want to learn a lot about Total War. So in any case, spaghetti lines of spears are a very, very dangerous formation to be in Total War Attila, and I don't mean dangerous for enemy cavalry, I mean dangerous for your spears. Now check out these awesome Royal Persian archers. These guys may not always be the best. Look, they carry a mace on their belt too. Pretty sweet. Too bad it doesn't have like a bunch of awesome melee damage, because these guys are very expensive. I'm going to open up with flaming volleys. They're going to cause a little more damage, basically. And I feel like the flaming arrows are going to be the best to use in the current state of the game if you're looking to cause better damage. Obviously different than Rome 2 in that sense. He's got all of his guys in a very loose formation, which is good. He's doing a pretty good job so far protecting his guys, but here's where a key part of the battle comes up. So here you go, spaghetti lines versus Grifpanvar cataphracts. Tell me how you think this is going to end. Braced or not, tell me if you think, and they're not, tell me how you think this is going to end. So let me get you a nice scenic view here. This is why spaghetti lines of spears are less than effective in Total War Attila. It doesn't matter whether it's melee cav or shot cav, but this is going to be especially pronounced with the Grifpanvar cataphracts. This is a German spearmaster. This is not some chump spear unit, and my guys just lay it to waste, the Grifpanvar cataphracts, and this is just a mid-tier shot cavalry. Same thing in the center. I come in with Persian mounted warriors and just smash a Germanic levy. Same thing here with another Grifpanvar cataphract, smashing a Germanic levy and killing crossbows at the same time. So basically this was a YOLO charge on purpose, because if I can cause enough damage to my enemy here, even if I take losses, which I will, because I'm going to be retreating in the face of massive crossbow fire. If I get rid of some of his units though here, it's going to leave him exposed. So at this point, my opponent's not in good shape. He lost hurlers, he lost crossbows, and he is under a barrage, a heavy barrage of fire from Royal Persian archers, which have nice armor, which won't help them against the crossbows, but it is helping them massively against the hurlers. So his hurlers are going to be causing very little damage to my my Royal Persian archers, who can then continue to focus. Right now I'm focused on the hurlers, which is not very smart. I should definitely be focused on his crossbows. The reason why I didn't switch my target is because earlier his guys were kind of all standing together and I was able to hit them both, but I definitely should have changed my target at this point. Now, tell me this. If you're a German Spearmaster and you just saw that almost all of your brethren were smashed by these Grivpanvar cataphracts, what in the world would make you get up and go want to test these Grivpanvar cataphracts again? But apparently these guys want a second dose of that tasty, tasty medicine known as a lance in the face. And a lance in the face is good for multiple things. It cures what ails you. If you have a headache, you'll no longer feel that. If you had diarrhea, that's going to stop as well. Upset stomach, it cures that as well. None of those things will really be felt once you have a lance jammed in your face. So maybe these German Spearmasters were just sick of the suffering from the bad camp food, and they decided to allow these Grivpanvar cataphracts to administer a couple hundred cc's of pain and suffering, so that it ends their time. So yeah, absolutely crushing the Germanic Spearmasters. So this Grivpanvar cataphract has annihilated a German Spearmaster unit and only taken about 15 losses. So, and again, this is a very sturdy spear unit. Now, in its defensive formation, this thing could have held off against the Grivpanvar cataphracts, but otherwise it gets absolutely slain. And apparently, as if those guys dying wasn't enough, it's going to happen again. I'll put this in regular speed so you can enjoy it. These guys just get bashed. So, shock cavalry definitely is very, very strong versus infantry in this game. The reason why you're not going to see it being super effective all the time is because melee cavalry is also very, very strong versus infantry, and is quite capable of defeating shock cavalry in drawn-out engagements, which makes it very hard to cycle your shock cavalry. So, this is going to be a challenge to actually effectively use shock cavalry. Typically right now I've been liking to keep them right behind my infantry line to potentially use on enemy infantry or just to get in the way of enemy melee charges. So yeah, and you'll probably want to start employing 2 infantry lines if you expect a lot of cav charges, but honestly it's just going to be easier to do a bunch of cav charges. So right now the things I would tell you to be careful of, if your opponent picks the East Roman Empire, you can potentially expect Tagmata cavalry spam. Tagmata cavalry is pretty overpowered. It can take down Indian armored war elephants with no losses. So I mean, well, of course elephants are kind of underpowered at the current in Attila, but still, the Tagmata cav will just destroy them like it's nothing. They're one of those units that we know will probably have to be patched, whether it's price or whatever it is. Probably just price would be fine to patch them. That way, if the East Romans are going to have that strength. But I think the reason why a lot of people are mad is because the Huns can't really face the East Romans in a cav-on-cav battle, which kind of gets annoying that it's Attila Total War, and the East Romans are like, yeah, bring it on, Attila, we got better cav than you. So, I'm not saying I want the Huns to be OP. I don't want any of the factions to be OP, and the balancing's actually quite decent between factions for the most part, but the Tagmata cav is ridiculous. So again, this is one of the cleanest releases I've seen in a long time for a Total War game, and I appreciate the work that the Creative Assembly put into improving what had happened with the release of Rome 2. I think they did a good job. Again, the game is not perfect. It's hard to expect a game to be exactly what you expect it to be when it releases, but yes, I do expect a lot from games. I want them to be right, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. So I'm happy to see it. In any case, at this point, I have a ton of ammo left on my elite Persian archers. Now, his general did kill Royal Persian archers. His general got through and killed a number of my archers and some of my melee infantry, but I still have a lot of ammo. Not only that, but my cavalry is just disintegrating his infantry line. This Grivpanvar cataphracts is about to come over here and rack up 300 kills on a 600 talent denarii unit of cataphracts. So these guys have been especially cost effective here, earning 2 chevrons. So yeah, these guys are very nice if used properly. Again, this is a situation where they could shine. It is going to be hard. So if you pick the Sassanids versus the East Romans, good luck with that. It's going to be very difficult. There are definitely some things that need to be addressed in the balancing of Total War Attila. I'm not calling for those things to be done just right this instant because I want to see more testing of the game, so again that we can try and give best suggestions. but I'll go ahead and cover a couple of those really quickly at the end of this video. Griffpan Var Cataphracts right here, just beasting it. Even these guys over here getting a lot of kills. This one, though, probably wasn't cost-effective. This one probably barely makes it, and this one definitely is cost-effective. And again, these Persian mounted cav are the cheapest. Like, I mean, they're cheap cav, and they did great. Royal Persian archers, of course, this was a scenario where they can shine. You're not typically going to find a scenario where these guys can shine, because heavy skirmish builds are not going to be super common on Attila right now if you're playing against someone who's going to be competitive. If you're playing against people just having fun, then yeah, you might see this. And in that case, the Royal Persian archers can potentially shine against certain units. But again, I'm just saying that in general, from a very competitive sense, maybe not so much. These Dalamite warriors did what I needed them to provide me some solid backbone. And if you look on my opponent's side, his Gothic general racked up some kills. Crossbows not able to be cost-effective. Probably not cost-effective here either with these Germanic hurlers. They are very cheap, though. And of course, his pikemen got destroyed with almost no effect. So pikemen are kind of the same. I think they have a little more use in Total War Attila than they did in Rome 2. I'll try and explain that here real quick too. Let's go into custom battle. Let me show you a few things. So just a few things to quickly point out. East Roman Empire, this is the Tagmata cavalry that I was telling you about. At 800 talents, these guys are just unbelievable. They have fantastic attack, really good health. They have a good bonus versus large, a very good bonus versus large. There's pretty much nothing bad about this cavalry, and their charge bonus is insane. They're very good against infantry. They're very good against cavalry. They're good against everything. They're good against elephants. They're good against skirmishers. That's the problem with Tagmata Cav. Now, if you want to make these guys what they are, I'm fine with that. You'll just need to increase their price so that they can't be spammed so easily. So if you really want to provide the East Romans with the best cavalry, you know, for whatever reason, that would be okay, but they're going to have to cost a lot more because they're so very effective. It seems kind of weird to me here, and I think I saw Panda Warrior stating this somewhere on the forums, that he was saying that he thinks that the melee attack of these two units was accidentally switched with each other, which would make sense. Then it would give these guys a higher melee attack, which, you know, their charge bonus is less, their melee defense is less, so it would give them more attack, and that would kind of make sense that maybe these two have been switched, and then the price of these Tagmata Cav would be, you know, just about where it should be. I think one of the things that's making people maddest is that the Huns can't even pray from a melee cav standpoint to match the Tagmata cavalry. These very expensive no-course cav cost more and probably won't win versus the Tagmata cav. They already have less health, I can see. And they have this missile weapon that's not going to cause a lot of damage. They can match the Tagmata cav in attack and melee defense, but I mean, that health is a big deal. And these guys also cost 175 more. Now, Hunnic Devil cav, again, cost a whole lot more and definitely not going to match the Tagmata cavalry. They have some cool units, though, don't get me wrong. You have this very light elite melee cav, which, you know, its attack and stuff is lower. But these guys will be really cool. They have really good spotting, good attack against cav, capture power. Maybe not the best in multiplayer, but would be a lot of fun in campaign. This speed is incredible, and they probably have ignore terrain as well. If they do, yeah. So these guys can move very quickly over terrain. Just an interesting unit in general. And they have guerrilla deployment, but very expensive. So again, the Huns do have some good horsemen. They just can't pray to match the East Roman cavalry. One, because their mass is being lighter. The Hunnic cavalry is lighter and faster, which is cool, kind of historic. But that change in mass and some of those health stats mean that these guys just get wrecked by the East Roman cavalry. Again, cool units, and the Huns are fun to play, and believe it or not, the Huns have some of the best infantry in the game with these Ur warriors and the chosen Ur warriors. You wouldn't expect the Huns to be bringing some of the best infantry, but they really do have it. But from a cavalry standpoint, they just get trounced. Tagmata Cav destroy Ur warriors, they destroy Hunnic cavalry. Horse archers are not what they should be right now. They don't cause a lot of damage. Many of them don't have Parthian shot. As you can see, these good ones here that probably do come with Parthian shot are so expensive. They have a ton of ammunition, which is great, decent missile damage even, but they just take forever to cause damage, and it's not going to play out. So horse archers in the game need some tweaking, I think, to balance in a little better. I don't want them to be OP. I don't want anything to be OP, obviously, but I'm just saying that, you know, it's kind of... Click on the unit card, click on another card to change it. Anyway, So, yeah, just looking at the tooltip there because I was curious. Huns are an interesting faction. They're fun. They can be viable, but again, just be very careful of the Tagmata Cav from the East Romans. And please be polite, folks. Don't go out spamming Tagmata Cav in quick battle. If you want to do that, go into the battle list and get your friends and spam them with Tagmata Cav. But yeah, try and be polite. Anyway, what else was I going to explain to you? Yeah, let's take a look at the Sassanids real quick. So, the Griff Panvar Cataphracts are right here. Only 600 talents, 300 kills is what I brought home with them. Cataphracts are slow, of course. But I mean, this Dat charge bonus, 225 for a cav unit at this price is very nice. I think the Franks have access to some pretty nice shot cavalry as well. They do. It's Frankish Lancers delivering some nice stuff as well. Not quite as much health as the Griff Panvar, but still a brutal charge. And these Cavalry Guard here too, that's a pretty massive charge bonus. And then you have the Sacra Francisca. These guys are very cool cavalry as well. Again, no match for the Gaian Afspar, but those are definitely still my favorite cataphracts, but they're also very expensive, so you'd have to be very careful. Tagmata Cav would ruin these guys. But yeah, as far as selection of cataphracts, you can't beat it with the Sassanids. That's their strength, but with all the crazy strong melee cav out there, it's going to be hard to make these guys work. But anyway, there's still a lot of time that we need to test the game. I'm not suggesting any patches. I'm just calling things out as they are now. We need to play the game more, keep testing things, and keep learning, and then we can come up with some good theories as to maybe what could be tweaked up to put the game in a really good state. But right now, it's definitely fun. Definitely in a playable state. Jump on and enjoy it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.